Hey there, guys. Welcome back to another Slightly Redneck video. Today we're going to be dealing with getting ready for some baby rabbits. My doe here is just about ready to have her babies. I thought I had a few more days, but I don't know. I'll move out of the way here. Maybe you can see her, maybe you can't. She's starting to hay stash. She's grabbing that straw up in her mouth, hanging out both sides, looking for a place to build a nest. So she's ready to have her babies pretty quick, probably within the next day or two, maybe a day or two earlier than I expected. But you know, it's the weekend. It's the time I got to do stuff. It's gonna rain today, so I'm out here early morning. Try to get this done before it rains. I don't want to be out here in the mud and the rain and working on this cage. What I have to do is not really that big of a deal. I've just got to put some baby saver wire around the bottom of this cage because there are some pretty big gaps, and if she has her babies on the floor, there's a good chance that they could squirm right out the side there. So what I'm going to be using is some hardware cloth, 1/4 inch hardware cloth. I've just cut some strips, and I'm just going to J-clip it to the side of the cage and get her nest box ready, put it in because she's ready to build a nest. But it's not really that cold out. I don't need this jacket, but I'm going to be working with wire. Well, probably won't wear it when I'm working with the wire, but I'm going to be getting the rabbit out. I got to move her to another cage. I need the sleeves to protect my arms. And I'm going to get some gloves on real quick because she's not too bad. She's pretty easy to handle. But at the same time, I don't want to get kicked and start bleeding and all that kind of stuff. So we'll just put some gloves on, get her out, move her to another cage, get this cage out, and strap some wire on. Should be a pretty simple process. It's really not that big of a deal. I'll bring you guys along. Let me get her moved and get stuff out of her cage, get her cage out of here, and then we'll come right back and we'll get to putting the wire on the cage. All right, so, I mean, this is, like I said, a pretty simple process. Usually I'd use like cage wire for this, you know, 1/2 inch cage wire, but I don't have any 1/2 inch cage wire, and instead of going and buying some, I mean, this isn't structural, it's just to keep the babies from crawling out the side. So we're going to be using 1/4 inch hardware cloth. And basically, I don't know if you can see this or not, these, you know, let me show you why I need this if I can. I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. Let me get this stuff off here because I'm going to make a mess if I don't. So basically, this cage has some pretty big gaps right here. I don't know what that is. Close to 1 inch. And a baby rabbit's going to be able to squirm through that. Here in the front, it's not as bad, but those are still pretty good size holes. So I need to cover those up. You know, at least a 1/2 inch, but I've got 1/4 inch, so that's going to do just fine. And it's a pretty simple process. I mean, like I said, I'm just going to take a piece of hardware cloth, I'm going to lay it on here, and I'm going to J-clip it to the cage in a couple of places where the wires go. And that's really all there is to it. So I don't know if you necessarily need to watch me do all of it, but I'll get you started anyway. We'll see how it goes. So, and I missed the wire. That's the way it goes half the time, is I miss the wire. I don't get it clipped on there right. I'm going to take that J-clip off. I mean, I don't really need to necessarily, but I don't want one hanging there for no reason. Save that in case I need to use it again later. I'm getting low on J-clips. I think I'll be fine. Don't need a whole lot on here. Like I said, it's not structural. It's just gonna keep the babies in. It's one of those things where you really kind of almost need a second hand. There we go, got it that time. So I'm gonna clip it on one end, and on the other end, then I'll work my way back through and put a couple more in. There we go. Got that one in too. 2 for 2. Well, 2 for 3 anyway. I'll do the same thing, clipping in at the top. I'm gonna have to cut out a spot for the feeder. I didn't even think about that. The feeder is gonna be a problem. probably should have cut this a little bit shorter because I can't get my pliers through there to clip it on. So what I'm going to have to do is I cut this too long. I cut it 5 rows. I should have cut it 4. I'm going to go ahead and cut the strip of it off, which is a pain. I hate cutting wire, but I'm going to cut it down because you probably can't see this, but where it lines up on here, I don't know if you can tell. I can clip the 4th row up, but I can't clip the 5th row because it's out there in the middle between the wires, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to cut that off. I'm going to have to do that on 2 of them probably because I thought I'd need more on that side than I did. But, you know, it could be worse. So always wear gloves when I'm cutting wire because that stuff will tear you up. So anyway, you don't need to watch me do this. This is not exciting. I'm just going to go through and cut this row off and we'll be good to go. That'll also save me having to cut out for the feeder. There we go. Pick that up before I forget about it. Get it with a lawnmower or something. All right. We're back in business. Oh, my back's hurting already. This getting old stuff's not fun. Now we should be good to go. I should be able to get that on there now. One. I don't need a whole lot of J-clips on here. I mean, just enough to hold it on so it's not flopping around and, you know, scratching me up every time I come to the cage. Oh, why can't I even get that around there? There we go. Go in the middle here. Sounds like raindrops. And just hold off for another 30 minutes and we'll be fine. Nope, I can feel it. It's starting to rain. That should be good enough on that side. Turn it over. And the next one. Now the side pieces I already cut them right, so they should be fine. I need to cut off this excess hanging out here. That's going to grab somebody to hurt. I would wait till after the rain, but it's supposed to rain like non-stop pretty much all day. I just need to get it done. I can't put it off too long. I don't want her to... Once she has her babies, I can't be moving her around a lot, so we just need to do this. Like I said, this won't take me long. There we go. Put one in the middle. Maybe another one down here on the bottom. This is a pretty big gap on this side, so a little bit more than what I would normally do. should work. I'm going to cut off. And we'll go to the gloves. Cut this excess off the end. And we're going to stop for a minute. Maybe. Alright, well, I got that all done actually pretty quick. Started to rain, not terribly bad, but just started to rain a little bit, so I didn't bother turning the camera on. I just slapped the cage back in there, got it all wired up. She was in a spare cage I've got over here, and it doesn't have any kind of cover over the top of it, so I want to get her out of the rain. Plus I want to get her back in her cage, getting her feeling a little bit more comfortable, get ready for her baby. So next thing I need to do is I need to go fill my nest box up with some straw and bring it back out here for her. So she can, I mean, she's ready to build a nest, give her something to build a nest in. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'll be right back with you. Oh, before I do that, if you haven't seen my nest boxes before, I mean, this is a wire cage wire nest box. I can't remember how big it is. It's probably 11 inches or so that way. Maybe more than that. Probably 14 inches or something, I don't know. I can't remember. I've got a video on when I built this. I'll put a link up here for you. But it's just a wire nest box. I just line it with some cardboard. Sometimes the cardboard goes all the way up to the top. I didn't have a box that was quite wide enough. It's not going to matter. It'll be fine. Line it with some cardboard. I'm going to stuff it with some straw, and that's it. I've got a little clip on here, or if she's like dumping it over, moving it around a lot, I can clip it to the side of the cage. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I don't need to. But let me go get some straw, fill this up. I'll be right back with you. All right, so I got the nest box stuffed about as full as I can of straw. Chances are she'll pull a lot of this out here. I'll probably have to bring some more out to her, but that's okay. Give her something to do for the day, I guess. We're going to put it back here in the corner. Let me get this pile out of the way. There you go. There's your whole nest box full of straw. And I know you're looking at my back. Hang on. If you haven't seen this before, let me pull you in closer. Maybe she'll do this behavior for us. But how I know she's ready for the nest box is she's starting to what we call hay stash. And you can see her picking up that straw. And let me bring you in close. Okay, so you can see that behavior. That's not nibbling on the straw. She's picking it up. It's hanging out both sides of her mouth. She's going to start moving around the cage, looking for a place to build her nest, probably, hopefully, in the nest box. She doesn't try to build it on the cage floor. But, you know, that is the behavior you're looking for whenever you decide, oh, it's time to put the nest box in there. She's not picking up that straw and just eating it. She's carrying it around in her mouth like that. And they'll get big bunches of it hanging out both sides of the mouth a lot of the time. So what I do, you know, a couple days, about 4 or 5 days before I'm expecting babies, I bring a handful of straw out and throw it in the cage and see if she distributes that behavior. If she starts doing that, I put the nest box in. If she's not doing that, because a lot of times they'll just pick it up and just nibble on it and stuff like that, but it's pretty obvious what we're looking at here. This is not just normal nibbling on the straw. This is hay stashing, getting ready to build a nest, getting ready for her babies. So anyway, that's how I decide when to put the nest box in. I don't do it before then because, you know, they can clamp that back up. I just realized that wasn't clamped. The tarp hanging down, you can't see it. But anyway, you know, a lot of times if you put the nest box in too early, they start using it like a litter box instead of a nest box. So that's what I do, is I wait for her to start distributing that nesting behavior, and then she gets the nest box. And you can see she's gathering it all up. I mean, she's definitely getting ready to have some babies. So I'm going to be watching her pretty close over the next couple of days, make sure they're born in the nest box, not on the cage floor. And that nest box looks like a mess right now, but she'll get in there and stomp that all down and build herself a little nest in there by the time, you know, the babies come. So it's going to be fine. Well, it only rained on me for a minute or two during that, so it wasn't too bad. I didn't have to rush as much as I thought I would. But she's all set. She's ready to go. If she has her babies before the end of the weekend, this is Saturday right now. I usually shoot my videos on the weekend, post them on Monday, Tuesday. If she has them before the end of the weekend, before I get this video posted, of course I'll give you an update and show you in this video. Otherwise, you'll have to wait for the next one to see the babies. I need to do the same thing to my other does. In fact, while I'm out here, I should probably go ahead and see if she wants to breed. So I'll let you guys hang on for that. But I'm gonna wait. I'm kind of lazy and don't feel like doing it today. So I'm gonna wait and do hers, well, probably the same time, about a couple of days before she has her babies. Not intentionally. I'll plan on getting it done a little earlier than that, but I know me. I'll probably procrastinate and think, oh, I got time, and then all of a sudden, oh, she's ready to build a nest. I got to get that done. So let's go ahead and try to get her bred. I'm going to put my jacket back on so I can cover my arms up, and then we'll bring her over here and see if she'll let this guy go ahead and breed. You can see she's in her nest box now. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but she's in it. That's a good sign. She's in it. She's gathering up straw. I think she'll figure it out. Let me go get, here, we'll bring you over here so you can see a little bit better. All right, moment of truth here. We'll see. See what happens. He's not as gung-ho as he usually is. Take a minute to get to know her. There we go. Come on, lift, lift, lift. She doesn't seem to want to be lifting. Get that water bowl out of there so he has more room. Oh, I think we just got one. Just got one fall off. Look at that. We'll try for one more just to make sure. I'm kind of surprised, honestly. She tends to be a little bit harder to breed, a little grumpy sometimes. Not grumpy, just kind of just sits and doesn't want to lift for him, I guess. She's a little bit harder to do, but anyway, it looked like that was successful, so I'm going to count that, even if we don't get another fall off, count that as probably a successful breeding and count on babies here in about 30 days from her. Now I really got to get some cage wire built, or some wire cut and put on that cage. If I was smart, I'd probably do it all at once, but I don't feel like doing it. I'm kind of lazy. She's back to being stubborn, I think. Well, we'll give him a few more minutes. I'll just close this video out while we're waiting. I mean, we got one fall off, so, you know, it looks pretty good. Trying to get a second one. We might not, but there's no sense in just sitting here watching them while we do. So we'll let them go ahead and have their way for a few minutes. She's not too grumpy with him or anything. I think it'll be okay. Let me move this camera back. We'll get this closed out. All right, well, sorry, I got to keep an eye. Oh, he's mounting again. Sorry, got distracted. So anyway, that wasn't too big of a deal. That was a pretty easy chore to do today. I knew I was going to have to get it done and thought I'd have more time. And of course, you know, wouldn't you know, at the times that I'm off work, it's just going to rain like crazy all day. We're supposed to get a ton of rain. It's supposed to start raining today and not stop till like late tomorrow afternoon. So I figured get out here and get it done while I can. And then that's it, I guess. That's it for this video. Should get baby rabbits from her probably in about 30 days. She's not looking super excited about it, but we did get one fall off. And any day now with her, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not today or tomorrow. So if it happens, I'll bring you back out and give you an update before the video posts, but if not, we'll wait till next video. So thanks for joining me today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, a little different than what I'm normally doing, I think. But anyway, thank you for watching. As always, God bless.